ever wondered how to make the traditional Moroccan Harira at home? Let's embark on a culinary journey to Morocco, a place where food is imbued with history and tradition. Harira, a vibrant and hearty soup, holds a special place in Moroccan culture. Often enjoyed as a meal to break the fast during Ramadan, this dish is a symphony of flavors that also packs a nutritional punch. With a medley of legumes, herbs, and spices, Harira is a testament to Morocco's rich culinary heritage. Get ready to unravel the secrets of this delicious Moroccan delicacy. To bring the Moroccan flavors to your kitchen, you will need a symphony of ingredients that will create a harmony of tastes. We'll start with the backbone of this hearty soup, lentils and chickpeas. These little gems are excellent sources of protein and give the Harira its signature texture. Next, we have the fresh produce. Tomatoes and onions form the base of our soup, lending their sweetness and tang. They're like the rhythm section in our orchestra of flavors, keeping the beat steady and delicious. Then we introduce the melody, our fresh herbs, parsley and cilantro, or as some call it, coriander. These two bring a bright, almost citrusy note to our Harira, perfectly balancing out the richness of the other ingredients. Our spice section, the trumpets of our orchestra if you will, includes a mix of vibrant and warm flavors. Think of cumin, turmeric, and paprika playing a fanfare in your mouth. They're the ones that give Harira its characteristic Moroccan flavor. And lastly, we can't forget the meat. Traditionally, lamb is used, but you can also use beef or chicken. This ingredient is like the conductor of our orchestra, tying all the other flavors together in a delicious harmony. With these ingredients ready, you're set to start the cooking journey. Before we dive into the cooking, let's prepare our ingredients. In the world of cooking, preparation is key. It's the secret ingredient that makes everything else fall into place. So, let's get started with our lentils and chickpeas. Now, these little gems need to be soaked overnight to soften them up. If you forgot to do this the night before, don't fret. Just put them in a bowl, cover them with water, and let them soak for a couple of hours. It's a quick fix for a common oversight. Moving on, we have our vegetables. Chopping might seem straightforward, but there's an art to it. For our onions and celery, we want a fine chop. This will help them blend seamlessly into the soup, adding flavor without creating large chunks. For the tomatoes, however, we want a rough chop. We want these to maintain some of their structure to provide a bit of texture in our Harira. Next, the parsley and coriander. These herbs are going to add a fresh, aromatic note to our soup. For these, we need to finely chop them. Remember, the finer the chop, the more flavor is released, and we want all the flavor we can get. Lastly, we have our meat. For this recipe, we're using lamb. It's a staple in Moroccan cuisine and adds a rich, hearty flavor to the soup. Cut the meat into small, bite-sized pieces. This way, it will cook evenly and be easier to eat. Remember to trim any excess fat. While fat can add flavor, too much can make the soup greasy. And there you have it. Soaking, chopping, and preparing your ingredients might seem like a lot of work, but I promise you, it's worth it. There's something incredibly satisfying about seeing all your ingredients laid out, ready to go. It's like a painter with a fresh canvas. The possibilities are endless. Now that our ingredients are prepared, we can start the cooking process. With everything set, it's time to start cooking our traditional Moroccan Harira. Let's begin by sautéing the onions. Heat a generous glug of olive oil in a large pot over medium heat. Once the oil is shimmering, add the finely chopped onions. Stir frequently, ensuring that each piece of onion is coated in the oil. As they cook, the onions will begin to soften and turn translucent, releasing a delightful aroma that will fill your kitchen. Next, it's time to add the meat. For this recipe, we're using lamb, but you could also use beef or chicken if you prefer. Cut the meat into bite-sized pieces and add them to the pot. Stir everything together, allowing the meat to brown on all sides. This process will take about 10 minutes, but it's worth every second as it adds depth and flavor to the Harira. Now let's introduce the lentils and chickpeas into the mix. These legumes are the heart of Harira, providing not only a hearty texture, but also a wealth of nutrients. Rinse your lentils and chickpeas under cold water, then add them to the pot. Stir everything together, ensuring that the lentils and chickpeas are well mixed with the onions and meat. It's time to spice things up. Add your ground turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and a pinch of saffron. These spices are the soul of Moroccan cuisine, lending Harira its distinctive, warming flavor. Stir the spices into the mixture, making sure they're evenly distributed throughout the pot. Allow them to cook for a few minutes to release their full aroma. Next, we'll add the tomatoes. You can use fresh, ripe tomatoes or canned ones, whichever you have on hand. If using fresh tomatoes, be sure to dice them finely before adding them to the pot. If using canned tomatoes, simply pour them in, juice and all. Stir everything together, allowing the tomatoes to meld with the spices and other ingredients. Now it's time to let everything simmer. Add enough water to cover the ingredients by about 2 inches, then bring the mixture to a boil. Once it's boiling, reduce the heat to low, cover the pot and let it simmer. This is when the magic happens. The flavors meld together, the meat becomes tender, and the lentils and chickpeas soften. This process should take about an hour, but you can let it simmer longer if you prefer a thicker soup. While the harira is simmering, feel free to check on it occasionally. Stir it every now and then to prevent anything from sticking to the bottom of the pot. If the soup is getting too thick, you can add a bit more water. Remember, harira is a flexible dish and you can adjust it to your liking. After simmering for about an hour, your harira should be ready to serve. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The aroma of the spices, the richness of the meat, and the heartiness of the lentils and chickpeas have all combined to create a truly delicious dish. So ladle yourself a bowl, sit back, and savor the flavors of traditional Moroccan harira. The aroma filling your kitchen is a sign that your harira is ready. Now comes the exciting part, serving and savoring this Moroccan delicacy. Harira is traditionally served in a deep bowl, brimming with the hearty soup that mirrors the warmth of Moroccan hospitality. A squeeze of fresh lemon over the top adds a zesty tang, cutting through the rich flavors and bringing out the best of the spices. Some prefer to garnish with a handful of chopped fresh coriander or parsley, their vibrant green adding a splash of color and a hint of freshness. But the beauty of harira is its versatility. It's more than just a soup, it's a meal in itself. You can serve it with a side of warm, crusty bread, perfect for dipping and soaking up all the delicious broth. Or pair it with a light, crisp salad for contrast. And if you've made more harira than you can consume in one serving, don't worry. This soup stores well in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. You can also freeze it for up to 3 months. Just make sure to cool it completely before storing and reheat it thoroughly before serving. Whether you're enjoying it for the first time or revisiting an old favorite, harira is a dish that's meant to be shared and savored. So gather your loved ones around the table, serve it hot, and enjoy this delicious Moroccan delicacy. To recap the journey we've embarked on, we first introduced you to the flavorful world of Moroccan harira. We then dove into the array of ingredients required, from fresh vegetables and hearty legumes to the vibrant spices that give this dish its distinctive taste. In the next step, we embarked on the preparation of these ingredients, chopping, soaking, and blending to bring out the best in each component. Following this, we moved on to the heart of the process, the cooking of harira. Here, we combined all our prepared ingredients, simmering and stirring until the flavors melded together into a harmonious blend. Finally, we arrived at the most rewarding part, serving and enjoying the harira. This is where the fruits of your labor come to life as you savor each spoonful of this warming, wholesome stew. There you have it, a traditional Moroccan harira made right in your kitchen. Enjoy!